Afternoon, everyone. Saturday afternoon. I'm just out here working. I'm getting a little snow off the roof, off the backside, and thought about it. I was gonna yesterday would do you guys a little update video, and then it ended up getting dark by the time I remembered it. So, and it's I think it's about 4 o'clock now. So we got about an hour and a half before dark. And so I want to do what I was thinking of, but had a few issues last few days. So had that old Dodge motor for sale at 360. Guy called and wanted it. Well, the A-frame was over there, so I drove down here with the tractor and took the back blade off the front and used the tractor to move the A-frame around. Well, I got up in there and the ground, I don't usually drive or plow over here, but the kids had been packing it down with a little snowmobile, so it wasn't packed too great. And I thought I might get stuck, but I figured at this slope here I could get a run. So I got about here and started getting stuck, and so I pulled back up forward, and this is with my forks up in the air holding this A-frame. Got it going and got to there. Well, then the tires are spinning, and I ended up running out of gas. Well, before I realized I was out of gas, I sat there and rolled it over 100 times trying to get it to start and killed the battery. Well, I gave up. And then next day I went down and I had put the charger on the night before, come down here and filled it with gas and tried it, burned the battery up, couldn't get gas back to the motor. So then I started looking around, noticed I had a gas line broke. So I fixed the gas line. Well, after I fixed the gas line, I figured, I might as well clean out the sediment bowl. So when I did that, and I've took it apart a few times, and I remember the gasket was in bad shape. But anyways, it took a shit on me, and I couldn't find one local. I was looking around the last 2 days, and I had ordered one right away, but I still was going to try to find one local because they're so cheap. I don't mind having a few extra around. I did actually. I ordered 10 of them, but it was a special on Amazon. But anyways, so I was talking to another YouTuber, Farm Boy, and he goes, "Why don't you just use a piece of inner tube?" I was like, you know what? And I'd been contemplating trying to make my own gasket, but didn't know what to make it out of. I had thought using a little piece of that membrane that I had, that roofing membrane I carry. So there's a piece of it sitting right there in the 2-track. So I just cut a piece of that just a little bit ago, and I cut it and made it just a tinge bigger than the bowl, and it seemed to sit right up in there pretty good, and doesn't seem to be leaking. So it's nice little quick fix. Thank you, Farm Boy. I look through all my gaskets because I always, even when I take something apart, I always save gaskets to everything. And I even had the old sediment bowl from the Cletrac tractor, and it's up in the garage. It had a deeper bowl, but it was still a 2-inch bowl. And of course, when I was taking that one apart, ruined the gasket on that one. So then I kind of lost hope and just was going to wait for mine. Well, then I talked to him yesterday, told him I was having issues with the tractor for the last few days, and he gave me that inner tube idea. And so then I grabbed the inner tube from the tractor and was going to cut it, the one I just changed out of it. But I felt it and was like, God, this membrane is just a tinge thicker. Pretty much the same shit. So I cut a little piece off that. And it seems to be holding. I mean, I don't know how quick it'll eat it, but at least get me by for a couple days, I'm thinking. If it even just gets me by for a few hours and I have to make another one, oh well. So here we go. I've got it cleaned out once again. I did a little short the other day, me starting it up, and I cleaned out a good majority, but we keep getting snow, and I keep having to clean it out a little bit more here and there. Like, here it is, it's snowing again. They said we were supposed to get a 6 to 8 of lake effect today, and I think it was for this evening, so, which I really don't want it. I was going to go and buy a sticker for my sled the other day, and I looked at that forecast and I started thinking about it. I don't really have a whole lot of people to ride with anymore. And then I was like, well, I used to always go ride by myself. Well, you know, much like getting older these days, I don't really like going out there and breaking down and not having somebody to at least be able to go back and get vehicle or whatnot. So I just decided just to ride out back. I pretty much ride off trail anyways. I'm not real big on riding the snowmobile trail. It's always so busy, and I heard there from all the snow that we got that there's trees and limbs down on it everywhere. And as of yesterday, reading some forums, a lot of the riders were saying that that's still quite bad. You know, like the groomers haven't got all the way through and got the shit pushed off yet. So. Anyways, just wanted to give you guys a little update. Let you know I'm trying to get a video made. It was bitter. Like my wife told me when she was going to work this morning, she walked out the door, it was 1 degree. And then she got going down my road and it was -6 on her car. And then by the time she got out on the big road, it was -9. So... yeah, it was, and I could even tell when I got up this morning. Heating with the wood stove, it usually keeps my house quite hot. And I got up this morning, it was like 70 degrees in the house, and it's usually never like that. So I could tell it was, I mean, it gets like that when it gets down the single digits with wind. So, did sell a little lumber last couple days. So on top of selling the Dodge motor, digging that out. I've been digging out when people call on something. I've been having to dig those piles out. Kind of bummed last couple days. I've had quite a few calls on 1x shit. And get over here to undig my 1x oak that I had on sale for $5 each. Didn't even put the cover back on. The guy too that was last here and bought some, he asked me, he goes, you want help setting the cover back on? I was like, oh no, I'm putting wood away. I'll be and I had uncovered all the piles. Well, when I ran through and covered them all back up that evening, I was still working on putting shit away, and I left that one uncovered, and then we got dumped on with snow. And so I did get a call the other day for some 6x6s of just some cheap wood. I don't know what the guy was doing exactly with it, but I told him I had cottonwood logs I could cut into 6x6s, and he was totally good with it. So I'm probably gonna dig in those and get a few of those over there for us to mill for a video tomorrow. So, all right, everyone. I appreciate you watching and listening to me blab for a minute. I'm looking and seeing this is kind of a long one, but looks like we got warmer weather ahead, and get back to the same old, same old. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great evening.